Hello everybody, it's CapCorgi. I hope you guys are having a great day. I have some good news. We in 2025 have had many great indie games come out. Things that have just, come out of nowhere and kind of taken the game world by storm. Definitely this year, even the past year as well, in quite high numbers. And of course in previous years as well. I mean, we had Terraria, we had Minecraft, we had Stardew Valley, we had all of those in the past. But I really think that we're hitting a trend where we're seeing just so many, huge, really, big hitting, extremely small in terms of the size of the game or the size of the scope and the size of the price tag. But I mean huge in terms of the size of the success of indie games. And it's been rapid fire. Schedule 1, just one off the top of my head. Huge gaming movement almost. It was an amazing game made by one guy. We had, of course, Expedition 33, which is what many people consider their game of the year. I've covered that a little bit, and I'm in love with the storyline of that game. And so far, I'm only about 10-15 hours in, but so far, it kind of deserves every single accolade that it's gotten, honestly. And I can't wait to go back to it. But we got a new guy in town. His name is Peak. And apparently, they just sold 1 million copies in the first 6 days of it coming out. So, which is crazy. This is a huge success. Now, what is Peak? First of all, everyone is using Peak as a meme. When is mid coming out and stuff. There's a lot of really fun things like that, which I love. I love it when, memes are very funny and silly and happy and uplifting in a lot of ways. Maybe it sounds a little corny, but I'm a big fan of that. Schedule 1 was a huge thing with that. Helldivers 2, while it's not really an indie game, published by Sony and all that, but there was a lot of memeage and stuff, and that game, which by all accounts, by Arrowhead themselves, they were only expecting the game to hit a peak of 30,000, and it ended up going to what is it? I think 450,000 or something. And that was conservative estimates, because there's 350 on Steam alone, 350,000, and then they were estimating and figuring out what the PlayStation numbers might be. Regardless, it hit 10 times higher the numbers than it was expecting, if not more. Anyways, so we've had many awesome successes with good memeage, and Peak seems to be the very next one. So what is Peak? It's a co-op climbing game. Where it looks like there's not really much combat, and it's just you're going around these little guys, little nature scouts apparently, and you're climbing mountains. And you can do this with your friends, or, and I love this because this is not shared by a lot of the people call this friend slop, which I think is a mean term. They talk about Repo and Lethal Company and all those games as what the people on Twitter are talking as friend slop. But this game you can play solo. I played Lethal Company a lot, and that game was pretty darn hard to play solo, and as well as a lot of the other very co-op centric games. One reason I haven't played Repo is for that exact reason. I don't really have a lot of people I can play with at the same time, because I get on so late for stream and all that. By the way, if you do like this content, feel free to drop a sub to this channel, turn on your notifications, and if you want to see this all live as well, me playing games, showcasing indies, talking about gaming news, and all the above, feel free to hop on over to CapCorgi on Twitch and give that a follow, because I do stream every single night, even though I do stream at kind of degen hours right now, but working on that. Regardless, this seems like a really unique game because you can play it solo as well. There's a very dedicated solo mode. And you're basically climbing this mountain. But there are a couple of really cool nuances. First of all, the art style is adorable and wacky. So that's, really lending from Schedule 1 and Schedule 1 success of kind of jumping all in on their art style and being silly and being goofy and, creating silly situations, which I can really appreciate. Now, the other really big nuance with this game is, well, two. First of all, it's $5. So this is as much as Vampire Survivors or games of that like. Actually, I think Vampire Survivors might technically be more expensive, slightly. I think it's like, $8.95 or something. But regardless, huge deal. That's also one of the other amazing indie games that, really took the world by storm just a couple of years ago. But yeah, so that is another nuance. Super, super low price tag. And apparently it's 38% off. For the next 10 minutes. I wish I had recorded this earlier. It is 12:50 p.m. Eastern time. If I had recorded this earlier, maybe more people could have gotten in on it. But, I mean, to be fair, it looks like a lot of people did. 1 million copies sold is a huge number. The other really cool thing about this game is that the mountain changes every 24 hours. So this is a very unique thing. So it adds a little bit of a roguelike feel. It adds a bit like a solid bit of replayability and such. Now, I have not played the game myself. This is just me responding to the news. I like to keep my ear to the ground for any, cool-looking indie games, something that's, like, showing up, popping up on the radar, and, like, everyone's really enjoying. And there's, like, a lot of unified response from everyone, whether they're, the largest of content creators to the smallest of streamers to the not streaming at all, and they're just in my community, and saying, hey, Cap, you got to check this game out. And this was kind of like everyone has been talking about this game over the past like 3 or so days, and so this is really, really cool news. Also, I love the animations. The animation sounds awesome. But yeah, so people are really talking about it, and lots and lots of fun memes and silliness is kind of peak, blah blah, and a lot of that Kirby falling while screaming memes, all kinds of stuff. And it does have the distinction. I just made a video about this. Where I kind of had this video. I'll link this in the comments below as well, in the description below. Games journalists trying to con us because they have a very strongly vested interest in trying to push AAA games and AAA narratives, and not really covering what us actual gamers like, which are just good games and just good gaming stories that we really care about. Games that we can play with our friends. Games that, are indie games that take the world by fire, so on and so forth. And Dexerto, by the way, was the subject of my previous video. This was literally put up yesterday. And Dexerto is also here, kind of shit-talking Peak, which is really stupid. So, breakout success, which is fair, but then they say, the game has gone viral because people can't stop joking about the name. That is, and then they have like, why did this stupid jam game sell more copies than Another Crab's Treasure? I'm gonna crash out. This is like kind of really dumb for them to frame it this way, and their article is kind of like very dumb as well in a lot of ways. And I'll link their article in the comments, in the description below, because like it's kind of like a little negative, and it doesn't really need to be. And the reason is very, very simple. Because this game is being bought by a lot of people and being played by a lot of people, not just because of the meme. Like, the meme helps. The Peak memes and everything like that, they're classic memes, they're a lot of fun. But games don't get bought and sold, and, they don't make millions of dollars just because of a meme. They make it because they capture something that we want to play. They give some ingredients that we really want to enjoy. Schedule 1 didn't have any memes at the very beginning. People didn't even know the game to make memes. Some people just started playing it, and, see, the thing that game journalists don't understand, and Dexerto is extremely guilty about this, is they don't understand how real gamers are, because they're not real gamers. Real gamers are, you play a game, you think it's really cool, and you tell your friend, hey, this game is really cool, you should check it out. Word of mouth. Something that all of these, super huge companies with million-dollar marketing budgets, with huge streaming contracts where they go out to like all the big content creators and they say, play our game, give it a good score, and maybe I'll let you in on the next event as well. Basically creating access journalism. All of these things are completely lost in terms of efficacy, but also in terms of their relatability to us. the more money that goes into marketing, the less it really means to you or I. A lot of times. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it works exceptionally well, like Diablo 4. They spent, what, like $100 million on their marketing budget, and they made billions of dollars, which is crazy. Sorry, not what, did they make billions? I think they might have made $1 billion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they made $1 billion in between, you know, Diablo 4 and the DLC. I'll have to check the numbers. Regardless, they made a crap ton of money, an absolute redonkulous amount of money, and that was a huge marketing success. But that is honestly fewer and farther in between. Star Wars Outlaws also had tens of millions of dollars put into its marketing budget, and it was a bad game, so no one fucking bought it, and the game failed. And we're in the good situation here, where you know, this is yet another game with no marketing budget. It's a complete indie. We've never heard of like any of these game makers or anything like that. Apparently, I don't know if this is true that this is a game jam game. Like, is this actually made as a game jam? Let's see. Oh yeah, Chained Together was the other one. I completely forgot about the other one that's called like Friend Slop. Let's see. They mentioned Game Jam, but I don't know if it is actually that or not. Okay, yeah, no, a jam game is when devs get together and essentially speedrun making a game. Okay, so this is a game jam game. Interesting. Well, that's really cool. I really like that. I didn't even realize that, so that's another thing. So these are just devs getting together, and they basically jam. The game jam is something that was held in its best times by, you know, companies like Blizzard, companies like Bungie, companies like Bethesda. For some reason, all three started with B. But yeah, they used to be famous for their game jams and creating good things, like, you know, really cool mods that they decided to put in their games. Bethesda was very famous for that. They don't really do those anymore, which is really shitty. And honestly, a lot of the problems with their lack of innovation recently, in my opinion. Regardless. So that's what a game jam is. It's just like, you know, they set a day aside, you know, once a year, once, you know, every few months or whatever, a large company or a group. You know, I don't know exactly what group the makers of this game are from. I haven't really researched them too much yet because I want to play the game. I kind of want to go in a little bit blind. So, but regardless, and then they get together and they just, you know, try to put together a game, and kind of like, you know, they go full into the meme, make it very simple. But sometimes you distill, when you make something very simple, sometimes you distill the overcomplication out of it, and you end up creating just a very pure fun experience, which I think and suspect is what happened here. Don't know, but I'm very excited to find out. And this is just a good success, guys. And so I just wanted to give it to you straight. You know, I'll cover the bad news when Ubisoft does something bad and dumb, or Sony or whatever. But when a great game comes along that, you know, seems to be hitting markets like crazy, people are enjoying it. 91% of user ratings out of 11,000 is crazy good for a game that is like, you know, literally 6 days old. And for $5, a total of $8. But, you know, on sale for the next 1 minute. Excuse me. But, yeah, no, it's just good news. So I just wanted to check it out, and I will be playing it on Twitch very soon. I'm trying to work my way through Death Stranding 1 before I, you know, get distracted with things, because I want to see how far I can get before the sequel comes out in just a couple of days. And the game is honestly really good, Death Stranding. Like, it's blown me away. But I wanted to cover this news, and I'll probably play Peak right after Death Stranding 1. So I'm excited. I hope you guys liked this little happy occasion. I like to cover the happy occasions, and hopefully you guys give it a chance and check it on out. It's only $5, and, you know, actually a grand total of $8 now. But have you guys played Peak? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to turn the music down. There we go. But I wanted to showcase the gameplay in the background. So there's a little trailer in the background from Steam. Anyone can check it out there. Yeah, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Have you played Peak? What do you guys think of this art style? What do you guys think of these so-called friend slop games? Do you think that's a little bit of an unfair term? What do you guys think of this particular game with the nuances of the ever-changing mountain, the really true solo player mode, and so on? I would love to hear your thoughts. I always answer every comment, so definitely, definitely. These are like little like jelly bean dudes, dude. Okay, it's a really cute art style, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I can't wait to, you know, hang out with you guys again soon and cover some more gaming news. There's some great gaming news. There's some crazy controversies. There's some interesting new games coming out and a lot of revealed gameplay. This is completely random, but I think we're getting back to the era of, you know, really in-depth gameplay videos of game companies saying, hey, I know you're interested in the game, let's show you some real gameplay instead of just cinematic trailers that show nothing. And, you know, we're going to be checking out a lot of that. Blood of the Dawn Walker looks really cool, and I want to check that out soon. But yeah, anyways, that's my entire discussion. And I hope you guys enjoy. Hope this discussion was peak. And can't wait to see you guys in the next video.